9 or 10 days ago, or whatever it was, for the latest of the Schenn Showdown. I guess little did you know that you were going to have a playoff collision with Braden. So is this indeed, we were just talking about, will this indeed be the first time you've been on opposing sides of the fence for a playoff series?
Yeah, it's the first time for sure, and obviously, you know, looking down the stretch, and obviously when the Blues started heating up there, like I said, I was cheering for Braden and hoping that he'd get the opportunity to get in. Obviously, it was a bit of a crazy deadline, and he was in the mix of some chatter, and it's kind of worked out where the team kind of got hot down the stretch, and he ended up being a huge part of that. And like I told you last time, I'm biased, but he's the leader behind that group, and I think did a good job. And like I said, I was cheering for him down the stretch. Realizing it could be an opportunity, or a possibility, I should say, of playing against one another, and not that we were necessarily hoping for that, but it's worked out that way, and it's going to be game on, starting. Obviously we play tonight, but starting tomorrow.
You had mentioned that you guys communicate almost on a daily basis. Will he be blocking Luke Schenn's number, and will Luke Schenn be blocking Braden's number?
Well, we talked this morning on the way to the rink, and obviously, just congratulated him obviously on getting in, and like I said, it's not something that we were hoping or wishing for. I was joking around with him earlier. If I was still in Nashville, I'd be cheering for the Blues right now. So obviously things have totally changed, and I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this group heading into the playoffs. And like I said, it's I wouldn't say you even dream of it, playing against your brother in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's not really something that ever crossed our minds. Played with one another, in Philadelphia in the playoffs, but never against each other. And I think as far as communication goes, we'll get through tonight, and then probably not chat much or at all. Once the playoffs start, which is good. I mean, he doesn't need to know what's going on, with our team, and vice versa. He's the captain there, and he's not gonna, passing along any inside information, obviously. So it's a strange one. Obviously, like I said, we talk pretty much daily throughout the course of the regular season, and I would say we're pretty in the know and in the mix in terms of what's going on with each other's teams for the most part. And this is just going to be a totally different scenario.
Parents think though of this. This might be harder on them than anyone, right?
It will be. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, my dad always says when we play each other in the regular season, he says he just wants us to take it to overtime, and then it's up to us to figure it out. And now it's I don't know. I mean, either way, they're going to have someone walking away into the second round, so I guess that's a positive. But it's I don't even know what to think or what they're thinking. I think they're probably just hoping that they're cheering for us individually, and they'll be supportive any which way. And I mean, I haven't really talked. I just got a couple texts even from my sisters last night, just being like, "You got to be kidding me." So so that was pretty much. I'll talk more to them in the coming days here. So.
And it's pretty wild how it all came to fruition. I don't know. I know you got your family in town, right? So you probably weren't glued necessarily to the game last night, but. Yeah, I mean, if Minnesota doesn't score with 22 seconds left, St. Louis is playing Vegas, and you guys are playing either Minnesota or Calgary. So that goal kind of changed the course of history, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, out of our control. At the end of the day, I mean, you're sitting there kind of thinking of different situations and scenarios, and obviously this one was a real, if not the strongest possibility, and ended up happening this way. So, like I said to Braden, and we both agreed that it's game on. Obviously, when we play each other, and we both got the same goal in mind, opposing teams. So obviously, it's going to be a huge battle out there. He's obviously a huge part of what they're doing in St. Louis, and their leader, and been there a long time. He has Stanley Cup winning experience, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help our team win in here.
How do you think your parents are going to handle the strategy of cheering and which jersey to wear?
I don't know. I mean, I think they'll be pretty neutral. I don't know if they're not going to be wearing jerseys. I don't see them ever wearing a jersey to the games. But I don't know. Maybe my dad will be switching between a Jets and a Blues hat every TV timeout or something like that. Who knows?
So you haven't talked to them since the format was decided?
We talked a little bit. I'll talk to my parents a little bit more. I think probably when I jump in the car on the way home here. Like I said, I talked to Braden this morning, and texting with my sisters last night, and random texts from just friends and family who've always been in our corner, supported us, followed our careers. People from back home in Saskatoon, and I think everyone's got the same opinion. Just how the heck did this happen? Because you draw this up, even a month ago in terms of, I was, I obviously didn't believe that I was, going to be traded to Winnipeg, and at the time he was potentially going to be traded at the deadline, and the Blues were on the outside looking in. So a lot had to happen for an order this to happen, and it's not in our control. We're gonna, like I said, do whatever we can to help our own team win.
Sounds like you've become quite immersed as a Jet here in this month. What has surprised you the most, if any?
Well, it's a first-class organization. Obviously, to be honest, I've had some buddies who I've, played with who've been here in the past, but I didn't really know anyone currently on the team, which is, I think a little bit rare. I played with a lot of guys around the league on a lot of teams, and I didn't really know anyone, too well on this team. And coming in here, just how professional the group is, the way you get treated from the top down, as far as how the organization treats you, how they care about family is a big part of it too. And they do everything the right way, and obviously a real passionate fan base. So that's been a good fit and a wild journey that I didn't anticipate, but obviously looking forward. We got a big game tonight, and we'll go on from there.
Your family is here now, and you made a couple trips back to see them. How long are they here for, and what does it mean to you to have them here?
They're going to be here till the second home playoff game here. Whenever I haven't heard the dates yet, but sometime into next week, and then the kids are still in school, so they'll be shooting back and forth a little bit depending on how the schedule shakes out. So it means a lot to have them here. It's been a tough month and a half. Just obviously 3 kids at home, and a lot of stress that goes on to my wife trying to juggle everything with the kids, and her family's been there to help quite a bit too, and they've we have a big support system that when you go through trades and move and you got family involved, people look at you as the individual on the ice that goes through it, but quite honestly the hockey part is the easy part to adjust to. It's everything else behind the scenes with family that is the hardest part to go through, and quite honestly the most stressful part. So it means a lot to have them here. My kids are excited. I had my 2 boys out on the ice skating after practice yesterday, and they're fired up. They got their Jets jerseys all done up. They're fired up for the whiteout, and they're pumped to come see some games here.